Dave, great to have you on our show.
That's great to be here.
The video is called Dishonorable Disclosures, and it was put together by people like you, former Navy SEALs, Special Operations Forces members in this country. What prompted you to do this right now?
Well, this one right now, this has been in the works for a while. The concept of for the past year after the killing of bin Laden, and at that time, right afterwards, when we were notified, when it was announced he was killed, and then it was announced who did it, and then it was announced how they did it, and then what treasure trove of information that they gathered that they were able to make into intelligence. And at that point, many of us within the special operations community and within the intelligence community were disgusted that all this had been laid out for everybody.
Disgusted because why? So much is compromised?
Right. Once there's tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPs. And once your enemy knows your TTPs, they can adjust their TTPs to defeat yours. When you let known what your capabilities are of gathering intelligence, then the congressman that let it be known that we were tracking cell phones, the next day the cell phones all went dead that we were tracking because he came out and made an announcement about it.
It's like helping the enemy, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just showing our hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the less it's called, and that's what it's called. Operational security means you don't open your mouth. And all the missions and all the things you'll never hear about that have taken place, all the people that have been taken down, all the intelligence that's been gathered by intelligence gathering capabilities that the United States has that you never hear about, and that's fine. And we're proud to keep our mouths shut because that's the way we keep our people from being killed.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you served what, during 9/11?
I actually I came into the Carter administration. I served in units that operated in Europe, and then after the wall came down, I've served in units that operated in Central South America. I was in the first Gulf War, but yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, a long time, and a long time at doing what you did best, and that's keeping what you did secret.
We knew what we did. We knew who we were protecting and everything else, and there was no need to
put it on
pound
the
our
front.
chest about. And plus, you know, and we are, and it's not just because we are required by law not to say anything. We don't want to say anything because it would jeopardize our buddies.
Yeah, no kid. I mean, it jeopardized special agents, the Navy SEALs, who put their lives on the line every single day. But, you know, it also puts all of us at risk, doesn't it? It's a risk to our national security.
It does. And one of the things that it does is when you, right now, everybody that's over there, they're doing actions that are trying to defeat people that are trying to kill us. And when you go after or when you allow them to understand how we're working, they're able to slip through the cracks that we've created.
Do you really feel, and I know it's pointed out in the video, that this administration has leaked this information for political gain?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, and the access that's been provided to filmmakers with this information. And when you have individuals that do not understand the intelligence community and do not understand intelligence products, and they want to declassify intelligence products, it's frustrating because, you know, thousands of man hours and potentially lives are devoted to gathering this information. And when and the enemy can take this seemingly unconnected bits of information and put together and paint the picture, figure out where this information came from. And we aren't dealing with a stupid enemy. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're able to, you know, put the puzzle together and figure out how this works.
What do you say, though, about some Democrats and some of the media claiming that you're swift-boating Obama? You're doing what the swift boaters did.
I do. I recall the swift boaters, and I recall they were sailors that served with Senator Kerry, and their intention was to make it known that Senator Kerry was not being honest about what he was claiming. Senator Kerry wanted to pound his chest and make his service in Vietnam an issue, and then he and people would come forward and say, well, he was not quite what he seemed, and this is why. And they presented their side of the story. One side's allowed to present a story, and the other side is not allowed to present an opposite side, and that's the swift boaters. And they were demonized by those that were just appalled that someone would open their mouths. Mm-hmm. I've said that, that's someone's opinion. If someone wants to say that we are swift boating, then that's their opinion. But it would to say that, we don't know what we're talking about, and we're doing this strictly to torpedo the administration, just to prevent an election from happening. That's untrue. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is something that these are lives that are at stake. I am not aware of any administration that has done this, and when you invite filmmakers in to and provide them the intelligence to forward an agenda, that is what's got us kind of upset about this.
Eric Bollert from Media Matters, and you probably heard about this, he actually called the Navy SEALs gutless. He said Navy SEALs don't have guts to admit they're running a GOP anti-Obama campaign. The SEALs are gutless? That's pretty low, I'll tell you. I don't know many of us that would put on a uniform and do what the SEALs have done.
How long did he wear a uniform? Or any of those in the administration that are making these claims, or claims that we don't know what we're talking about? How many times did they sit in a swamp and gather information for intelligence purposes that would understand the need to keep things quiet? That's the frustration that brought us forward in much of this.
Even Senator Dianne Feinstein came out and she said she has never seen anything like this when it comes to the leaks that have happened under this.
There's several. Senator Feinstein. Both sides of the aisle were pointing this out. So the recognition that this is wrong transcends political parties. Mm-hmm. And within the intelligence community and within the special operations community, you have folks that are Democrats and folks that are Republicans, and when they step away from their partisanship and say, no, this is wrong. Mm-hmm. You cannot support what has been done here in any manner. It can't be supported.
And I would imagine we don't even know what the long-term impact really is.
And we won't. If things were kept quiet about the methods that were used to take down bin Laden, and things were kept quiet about what we gathered, we later on might have a good grasp. But when we released all the information we had and who did it and how they did it, now our guys have to kind of tweak some of their operating procedures, which takes time, money, mm-hmm. training, and also it provides the bad guys with a leg up. And when those, and we're like you say, we're never going to know the impact of this, because how do you measure that? I also understand public reaction is formed by what the media tells them oftentimes. So if the media is telling them that we're a bunch of GOP hacks and we don't know what we're talking about, and they repeat it often enough, then that's going to be what they think. But that's not true. Folks that were on that tape that you saw making statements belong to all sorts of political parties and come from all angles. It had nothing to do with politics. It has to do with what we stated in the video. That things happen that shouldn't have happened, and it concerns us.
All righty, Dave. Well, there's a lot at stake in this election, and we'll see what happens then.
If people base their decisions on this, well, then that's good, one way or the other.
All righty.
At least they're being informed.
All righty. Thanks so much, Dave.
All right. Thank you.